Oh, water. Well, who the hell's... What do we got here? Oh, lovely. Hey, I have a quick question before we start, love. CB, are you the... listen, CB. Are you the same person as Nasty Nate? Or are you a different person? Nasty Nate? I don't know. How comes we never see CB from Philly and Nasty Nate in the same space here? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. They stoned again today on the Freedom of Information. Yeah. Not a lot coming out. Not a lot coming out, guys. There's only one, guys. There's only one interview that I really want to fucking see. Yep. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. The ones that we've been getting, hey, they're interesting. Don't get me wrong. But there is one that I desperately want to see and hear. Most likely here. Because apparently, when we have the most important people that we're interviewing, we don't video record them. Moscow. Just saying. Or if you do, you're not providing that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Terry Lynn. Welcome, Terry Lynn. Of course, CB. Welcome, CB. Of course. Always good to see you. Yes, all right. What else? Filled the dog bowl, forgot, and flooded my bathroom. You flooded your bathroom when you try to fill the dog bowl up? Oh, my God. What's going on? Well, it is Monday. So we can let that slide, Terry Lynn. We could say, hey, it's fucking Monday, and we'll just leave it at that. Or, you'd be like, well, goddamn, I have dementia now, don't I? No, we're not going to go. No, it's Monday, all right? It's just Monday. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah, dementia. Now, listen, you don't have dementia. All right, let's go. Check it out. Oh, yeah, we're burning. You know what we're burning here. You know what we're fucking burning. Anyway, some other stuff you're not seeing either. You don't know what else I'm burning. But, could be that Moroccan grape moon dust that I was telling you about. But you're not going to see that. Good day, Master. I'm taking a smoke break. Oh, well, hello, Stone Podcaster. Well, funny enough, I was taking a quick smoke break as well before you joined us. Interesting how synchronicity works. Stoner Podcast Media. I love that name, by the way. I love that name. It's a good name. Hey, we're not class 1 anymore, baby. We're going to get bumped down a few classes. That's always a good thing, baby. I kicked my horse in Mexico. All right. Hey, I kicked my horse in Mexico. Lady, Dame Sophia, Queen of Wisdom of the Garden. I kicked my horse in Mexico. All right, baby. I know, CB. I understand. I get it, too. I may have a day job as well, but I'm not saying a goddamn word of it. Well, of course I have a day job up here. Every day is my day job up here, CB. I have to worry about all kinds of shit up here. What will MD doing? He fucking off somewhere, falling off a fucking cliff. I got to worry about Stanley trying to kill people down in the earthly realm. I gotta try to handle all kinds of shit up here. I have to flag terrible stories that are written about me up here in the Spirit Realm magazines, like pushing my former master into a fucking bog. Anyway, you remember that story, don't you? Yeah. Anyway. All right. Welcome, Tickle Bitties. I know who you are. I know who you are masquerading as. I love your artwork, by the way. I love your artwork. Slipknot, baby. I give you the Misfits. I give you Danzig and the Misfits, baby. Danzig and the Misfits. All right, baby. Now we're gonna revisit. Close your eyes. No, CB. Now I know. Well, just you. Well, you're a dude. I'm guessing you're a dude, right? Of course you're a dude. I hope you're a dude. So anyway, welcome. It's another motherfucking Bigfoot, Gus. Anyway, welcome, Laura. Oh, hey, sweetie. You know what we gotta do now. Don't call me sweetie, you fucking bastard. All right. Here we go. Right, CB? Damn, you look all right. What do you mean, bitch? That's harassment. Never mind. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the bartender, right? All right. Fuck off. All right. You know what I'm talking about, CB. Anyway. All right. It's all right. For real, quick break. Recharge, replenish. Get some herbal tea action going. Some Earl Grey action going. You know what I mean? Some herbal tea shit going there. And lemon drop and purple haze. Orange sorbet. All good teas. All good teas, guys. We're talking about drinking tea, guys. Come on now. Get your head out of the fucking gutter there. I know, Lori, it's terrible. They always have their head in the gutter and makes me hungry for ice cream, but I don't think they're talking about ice cream, Lori. Lori! I don't think they're talking about ice cream. Oh, God. Please get me out of here. Okay. Welcome, Ellie Ryan. Hey, where's your co-conspirator in the war? Where is she? You goddamn butterfaces. You started this war. 100-year butterface battle war. Oh my God. No wonder this channel's all fucked up. Okay, yeah. Well, just hang on to that thought, alright? Just hang on to that thought. Which I know you can do. I hope. Fuck you. We fucking... What's going on with Iran, Master Nature? What's going on with Iran? Why, what are we doing? I don't know. All I know is quick break. That's all I know. All right. Hang on. Quick break. I know. I love you. Very patient. I love you. We got the right stuff, baby, the right stuff. Hey, I'm going to show you this, though. Oh man, I tell you what. Now I know why they don't mind this stuff for like 30 years at a time. It's like wine, guys. It's like drinking wine. It's like, well, you can't touch this vintage for like another 50 years, asshole. All right. All right. Gee. Well, fuck you. I'll just drink another wine that tastes exactly like the fucking one you're trying to sell me. Thank you. All right. Hello, Gato. Are you going out and getting me some secrets from the witches? Go ahead. It's all right. Go ahead. It's all right. The lawnmower is not going to get you. Gato. Anyway, yeah. The problem with an adolescent familiar gato, they don't listen, guys. They don't listen at all. So, guess what? We don't get any secrets from the witches. Not until they age out of it. You know what I'm saying, guys? Anyway, I love you. We are psychic. Remember that. All right. Here's what I want to start with, my loves. That's the prelude. This is Act 1. I want to start with this, okay? It's a song. Oh, of course it is. Hey, welcome, Seattle Ryan. Welcome, Seattle Ryan. Who else did I miss? Oh, I'm terrible. Welcome, Jethro Troll, sorry, JT. I love you, Loyal Ryan. You know that? Because you always know what we got to do. Welcome, Seattle Rain, once more. Slipknot, 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 Slipknot. Slipknot. And then you're going to say, Insane Clown Posse. Insane Clown. ISP. But I want to start with this. Glass of water. Check. Hey, remember the tea I was talking about? Now, I'm not advocating, guys. Listen, guys, I'm going to show you something. I'm not advocating anybody drink tea. You may not like tea, okay? I'm not advocating anybody to drink tea. Just saying. Not everybody enjoys it, and, whatever, okay? I'm not advocating for anything like this. So don't get me wrong, all right? Anyway, I hope you like that. And, oh my God. Hey, welcome, Curious Rose. What happened to CB from Philly? Welcome, Curious Rose. What you doing today? Planting flowers, my love. I'm going to the fucking beach, asshole. All right. All right, hey, all right, baby. Welcome, Just Rotro again. That's right. The gato, he's got a rebellious, he's in his rebellious years, you know what I mean? So that means he don't fucking listen. And he's supposed to be gathering secrets for me and, Master Nature. From the witches outside, because he is the familiar. You understand that? He's the familiar. No secrets from the familiar. Master Nature sometimes flies blind into the goddamn dust storm. You know what I'm saying? But when you take on a kitten familiar, here's the problem, psychics out there, and this is to my God, but this is to the psychics out there. They know exactly what I'm talking about here. When you decide to take on a kitten familiar, you have to expect a period of time where you're not going to get any secrets whatsoever from the witches. Okay, that's because you decided to take on a kitten familiar. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's a gato, but it's a kitten. It's a gato kitten familiar. See, that's a big responsibility there, guys. So you got to know what you're getting into. Anyway, it's all right. Well, good for, hey, you going on vacation? Hey, good for you. CB, that's good. That sounds like it's going to be a beautiful time. So enjoy yourself, my friend. Enjoy yourself. You deserve it. Anybody out there who's thinking about taking a vacation or wants to fucking take a vacation, take a goddamn vacation, all right? Just do it. Even if you're look, I know some of you out there are probably workaholics, or you feel like you have to be workaholics and shit. Well, okay, I understand that. The financial situation may be different. I get it. Don't get me wrong. But listen, if you got fucking vacation time and you haven't been on a vacation in a really long time, I am encouraging you to take some goddamn days off and enjoy yourself. All right? The work is always going to fucking be there. It doesn't matter how perfectionistic you think you are. The work is always going to be there, my friends. So, yeah. So, fucking treat yourself for once. If you have vacation time, fucking take it. Get away. Get away from where you are. Enjoy yourself. You know, within your limits or whatever that is, fucking don't hesitate, man. Just don't. CB, thank you. It's a good point to remember. Yeah, right, Garden. That's some good advice, don't you think? I hope that's some good advice for you guys. Not that you don't need it. I mean, you are my garden. You are the greatest of all time. But I'm just saying, if sometimes we forget that, you know what I mean? Sometimes we forget, we can fucking take a goddamn break once in a while. I know we want to work hard, and I get all that. Maybe some of us don't. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you got the time to take to just fucking relax, go to a goddamn different part of the world or country or whatever, just do it. Just do it. There's no time like the present. You understand that? Especially with the shit going on today, there's no time like the present. Seriously. Anyway, I know that sounds, guys, you know that already. I know it's contrived in some way, but listen, it's true. It's true. And I think that's good advice. That's right. You do. You do. You do. You do. Yeah, you do not. Of was ancient. You are a long time dead. Well, you're right about that in some way, Eddie. Some of us have been a long time dead. That's correct. You wouldn't believe it, but it's true. In fact, most of the time you're talking to somebody who's been a long time dead. You didn't even know it, did you, Dad? You didn't even know that. Well, no, you knew that because you knew we're the greatest of all time. And I told you, you've been talking to ghosts most of the time. Just from this asshole. Me. Life is good. Life can be good, yes. All right, quick break. No, wait a minute. Yes, we have to. Now we went on to a vacation diatribe. We went on a vacation diatribe here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Well, that calls for another quick break. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. But think about vacation, CB. Great. I'm glad you brought up that you're going on vacation. I thought that was a really good topic here, actually. Thank you. See? Greatest garden in the world. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just brings up a vacation and we could talk about it and look at it. And Anyway, I think that deserves a quick break. Don't forget, I have a store. Anyway, somebody won a contest the other night, and I can't remember exactly what the contest was, but I know you won it. I'm trying to remember who won it. So please, if you want something from my store or whatever, my store, just, hey, email me, all right? Because I kind of forgot like what we were doing, but I know you won. So I forget the fucking, oh yeah, you guessed the right movie. It was Young Frankenstein. That was the answer, by the way. So I forgot that. So hey, let me know if you want something from my fucking store. I know I think I think I'm still behind on somebody, but CB, was that you? Are you CB? Was that you? You tried to steal something here? Was that you, CB? That wasn't you, CB. You trying to steal here? That wasn't you. It was not CB. There was somebody else. It wasn't not CB. Come on now. You trying to hijack a sweater here? CB, you trying to hijack a long sleeve t-shirt here or what? I don't think it was you, CB. Come on now. I can go back and watch my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm lazy. What? Email my arse? What? What are you talking about? I got an email. Ellie, what are you talking about? I have an email. It's in my goddamn channel description. Email me. Now, it takes me a while to get back to most of you, but just email me. Yeah, I got an email, baby. Not the greatest of fucking replying on time to people because, well, some of the messages you send me are pretty involved sometimes, and so I want to take my time and actually read them and understand what you're showing me, you know. So that takes me a while. Because I'm slow. I'm slow, guy. Yeah, he is pretty slow. I'm just saying. Yeah, so it may take. Well, you are slow, asshole. And yeah. Well, we knew this all along, Master Nature. It's not like it was a big fucking shock. All the spirit guides who got assigned to you for some reason. We knew right away that you were kind of a sped, and we really were panicking there in the beginning because we're like, oh my god, he's a fucking idiot. What are we going to do with him? Yeah, we were really freaked out. Hey, Garden, when we first got assigned to Master Nature, we were really freaked out. I'm serious. See, it goes both ways, guys. It goes both ways. You just can't be talking to him. You gotta talk to us. From our point of view, what it was like. Oh my god. We were all freaking out. I remember Stanley saying, oh my god, we got assigned a fucking retard. Holy shit. What do we do with him? Hey, Tyrone. Hey, Tyrone. Oh, no, don't even fucking say it, Stanley. No, I did not kill my fucking. Hey, Tyrone, I didn't say that. But, what are we gonna. Hey, look, he's a fucking retard. What are we gonna do in like a month or so? You know, I don't know, Tyrone. Yeah, all right, I understand there. We're going with this, Stanley. But, we just gotta wait and see here what happened, all right? Oh, I don't know. It sounds really dangerous either way you're talking. Oh my God. Why? Why did the smiley harp do this to us? Oh my God. Oh my God. Why? Why? I don't know. I don't know, MD. Why did why did your dad push you off a cliff? I don't know. Oh, thanks, Tyrone. You know what? You're a real fucking asshole sometimes. You know that? You remember those days, guys? We're still doing the same thing. Hey, by the way, go look at my earlier shorts, guys. It's just a continuation of the story. It's just a continuation of the story, love. Yeah. I know the Reverend Donna made you tingle, Master Nature. Yeah, that's where you got it from. Because when Reverend Donna tingles, oh my God. It's like, oh, you can't ignore that tingle. I know, we've been tingling. I tell you what, I'm tingling, guys. Remember? I'm tingling. I'm tingling, guys. I know, it's very powerful, Reverend Donna. Ah, yeah, don't forget where we started from. It's called Roots. It's called Root. Hey, remember Roots? Oh my God. You know, Roots. Anyway, excuse me. Prelude. The extended prelude. Act 1 is coming right now. Act 1. Act 1. Quick break, though. Quick break on that. And, all right, all right. No, what? It's 10:30 p.m. Is all well there, Ellie Ryan? It's 10:30 and all is well. You still hear that kind of stuff on the street corner? Welcome. Good news. Oh, hang on. Hey, hold that thought there, Stoner Production. Stoner Podcast. Hold that thought. Absolutely what, Eddie Ryan? What are you talking about, Eddie? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. All's well, all is well. So look. So like 10 o'clock rolls around, right? You on a cobblestone street. Okay, it's real dark. Maybe it's a little foggy there. You come out of your little your house there with a gas lamp in your hand. It's all foggy and dark. You step outside your house on a cobblestone street. What do you see when you flash that gas light up and down your street there? Like what kind of stuff comes out of that fog? Anyway, quick break. Maybe I take you now to London, 1881 in Whitechapel. Act 1. I'm sorry. Much delayed Act 1 here, guys. Wow. Anyway, boy, oh boy. Well, yeah, I think you gained some insight, though, into the channel, so that's good. Anyway, I should write something down for you. Yes, I should. Just so we are clear about this, I got to write something down for you guys. Listen, watch this. Okay. As if you probably don't already know this, my garden, but I feel like I have to write this down, okay? So here I go. Yeah. Yep. Here we go. I'm writing and tingling, guys. I'm writing and tingling, guys. Okay. Right. Oh my God, this is a joke. All right. Hang on. All right. As if we didn't know this. Okay. I feel compelled to write this down in case I forget it. See, that's how it goes. Dame Deb, good question. Dame Deb's kind of been, Dame Deb's doing stuff on the sideline. That's all I can say. Speaking of Dame Deb, one of her suggestions that she recently gave to me, we're actually going to look at it again. A very simple thing, but a very important thing. So, anyway, oh yeah, I just want to read this to you, okay? I want to read this to you. Jack the Ripper is now a disinformation campaign. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. In case I forgot. Is now, I probably should put a slash there and says has been. Sorry, I forgot the has been part. Sorry, guys. So I don't even want Jack the Ripper. Give me. Nope. And no. Anyway. Glass of water. Check. Phenobarbital. Check. This is what I couldn't find last night, my friends. Oh, but then I remembered. Oh yeah, this is it.
Ground control to pilot. Ready, for ruminant, ready for last minute, cock. Our Father, which art in heaven, mea culpa.
All right. I hope you like that. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I have. Sorry, guys. I have a deep affinity for that album, and just saying, I talked about that yesterday. Robert Calvert and Robert Calvert, Lockheed and the Starfighters. Oh, I have a deep affinity for that album. That shit blow your. I'll tell you, that shit blow your. I'll tell you what. That if you get that shit will blow your fucking mind out. I'm telling you right now. Blow your mind. It's like space rock. There's some punk shit in there too. You got all kinds of cool fucking like synthesizer shit going on. You got all those like cool sound effects. You got all kinds of shit going on in this music. Oh my God, it blow your fucking mind out. Yeah, you got some punk shit going on there. Yeah, you got some punk kind of fucking rhythm shit going on there. I tell you. And that's a concept. That's a concept album, which is even like more mind blowing. That whole album's a concept album. Anyway, Robert Kelvin. Big break. That was the beginning of Act 1. Sorry, guys. That was the beginning of Act 1. Sorry, guys. Beginning of Act 1. All right. All right. Here we are. What are we going to start with? Yeah. All right, let's start with Dame Deb. We'll start with Dame Deb. All right, this is just to, this is a good refresher. Real quick, guys, real quick. So this is Act 1, of course. All right, I'm just backing up here. So this is ISP document number 10. This is an interview with a person. I'm assuming another sorority female, but I can't be sure. Anyway, but Dame Deb brought this to my attention again. Why? And well, we're gonna see why. It's good to know. It's good to know. It's very quick, but it's a good refresher on time frames. So we got 11/18. So 5 days after the murders, right? So they're interviewing. Yep, Detective Millar and I interviewed this person at ISP jail or District Office 3 in Meridian regarding the homicide, right, which occurred at regarding the homicides which occurred at the 1122 King Road house. I'm just saying, not at the University of Idaho. Just saying, 1122 King Road residence in Moscow, Idaho. Not at the university itself, because that's not what happened. You gotta be specific, my loves. Anyway, this broad stated the following. We got... Right, where are we? She's part of the sorority at the University of Idaho. She knew Ethan through the Sigma Chi fraternity. She got to know Xana through Chapin. She didn't know Kaylee, right? Or Maddie very well. She knew Ethan and Xana for about 1.5 years. All right. She currently lives at the sorority house and has never been to the King Road residence. All right. She was at the Sigma Chi fraternity house on Saturday night for a party. Ethan and Xana were at this party, right, of course. She had never heard of any sort of stalking incident. She was with Xana until 2 o'clock in the morning. She took a picture with Xana and walked home. Ethan and Xana remained at the party. She had no further contact with them after that point in time. 2 a.m. They remained at the party. We have a picture. I'm assuming, now listen, she took a picture with Xana, which I'm assuming has a timestamp on it, around at 2 o'clock in the morning or thereabouts. That's what that implies, but not specifically they fucking say that. Like, I would like to hear this. She took a picture with Xana and the timestamp, indicated it was 2 a.m. in the morning. I'd rather fucking read that. Fucking Moscow and Idaho, fucking state police, you cocksuckers. Anyway, she took a picture with Xana and walked home, implying this was around 2 o'clock in the morning. Right? Right. I am the greatest, you cocksuckers. Anyway, Ethan and Xana remained at this party, implying it was past 2 o'clock in the morning. She had no further contact with them after that point. Xana had been dating Ethan for about a year. Everybody had a crush on Miss Xana. Everybody. She heard was at the King Roadhouse after the Sigma Chi party. Okay? Blank is a blank and a PC brother of Mr. Ethan Chapin. We concluded our interview at 2:26. Now, guys, this last, I'm confused by this. I don't know what this is. This could be very simple. That I'm not getting the names here, but this, I'm sorry, guys. If you know the answer to this, I could be totally missing what this interpretation is here, guys. She heard, she heard blank was at the King Roadhouse after the Sigma Chi party. Blank is a blank and a PC brother of Ethan Chapin. So, who was at the house after the Sigma Chi party Who was at the house? See, do you see what I'm saying? So when I read this again and again, I'm like, it seems so. PC brother, right? PC brother. So I'm thinking, okay, so there was another male that went to the King Roadhouse after the Sigma Chi party was finished. Yeah, that's the way I'm reading that. And so the question is, well, who the fuck's this other male that went to the King Roadhouse when supposedly there were no other males that were there after 12 o'clock at night? Much sooner than that in the day. Right? There is no other males that should be showing up, blackout, that should be showing up at the King Roadhouse, especially not at midnight, especially not at 1 o'clock in the morning, especially not at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, who is this other person we're fucking talking about here? Now, I'm like, I must be reading, what are we talking about here, you know? Are we like mistaking, what's her fucking name? Are we mistaking Lakeland Macoma for the person that was supposedly at the house at that, after the party? Are we mistaken for Lakeland Macoma here? That's what I thought. I'm like, are we mistaking this statement of a person for somebody else? And so I'm like, well, Lakeland, according to what we've been told, Lakeland Macoma was there, right? And blah, blah, blah. She was at the house, right? We know that. But I'm like, well, are they talking about her? Well, no, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like they're talking about a male that was at the house, like after the Sigma Chi party, which ended, very late. So, at least from midnight and beyond, which is late because there's supposed to be no males at the house there. Right? So who are we talking about? Anyway, there you go, my loves. Remember, Hunter Johnson said he never went there that night. If you're thinking of Hunter Chapin, that's an interesting thought. But unless I'm completely wrong and they're mistaking this here for Lakeland, because she was there at the house with the girls, with Dylan and Bethany, right? Of course. Lakeland. Well, we know who she is. Talked about her forever, right? Lakeland, her interviews. But if we're not talking about Lakeland, well, then we're talking about a male, I would assume is a male, a PC brother. What is a PC fucking brother? So if that, to me, that sounds like that would be a fucking male. But maybe not. I don't know. A PC brother. What are you saying? Are you saying like that is towards a female? Like being a PC brother, is that like meant towards to be for a female? Like you're my little sister kind of shit going on? Is that what that means? I don't know. Doesn't sound like it. No. Listen, she heard this person was at the King Road house after the Sigma Chi party. This person is a blank and a PC brother of Ethan Chapin. Right? After the Sigma Chi party. This person is what? This person is and a PC brother of Ethan. What okay, what else is he in addition to that then? He's a what? It's blank is a blank. What, a fraternity member? What is this? Blank is a fraternity member and right? Something. Pledge class. Okay. And a pledge class. Right. Okay, good. Thank you. A pledge class brother of Chapin. So we're talking about a male, are we not? All right, we're talking about a male then, correct? If this is my pledge class brother, that's a male, right? I'm not talking about a pledge class fucking sister, am I? No. Right? So we're talking about a male, right? All I need to know is, are we talking about another fucking male here? Because if we are, that's a big problem. Who is this male at the house? Oh, from 12 midnight or God knows what other time. But it's definitely after 12 midnight. I can tell you that for fucking sure. Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Dame Deb, for that. That's a very interesting document. That's ISP document number 10. Anyway, we peg our last known sighting of Xander Kernodle at 2 o'clock in the morning. Because we have a picture, perhaps, that has that time signature on the picture. So we peg Xander's last known scene at 2 a.m., And by the way, according to this person, they did not leave the house. They didn't. When they left, they were still in the house, and that was around 2 a.m. or after. And they were still in that goddamn, still in the Whites, I believe, or at least the offshoot apartments from the Sigma Chi, the main lodge. Right? And they were still hanging out there, perhaps. Right, in those offshoots, right? Now, Hunter Chapin does figure into the story. He's one of the last people supposedly you saw them too. So, yeah, anyway. Interesting stuff. However, what's more compelling than anything else? Do you want to know? Do you want to know why it doesn't fucking matter? Because Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk never said they got home at all. It does not matter. Okay, guys. I want you to remember these things, my garden. I love you. And you have beautiful minds. But you got to think about this. Even if I have a picture of Xander Kernodle at 2 o'clock in the morning, guess what? It doesn't matter. What matters is our prime suspect, Dylan, and the Hobbit, they were the only two people there during this whole entire time frame. And not one of them said or could remember or had any idea when Xana or Ethan got home to the house. That's all that matters. These are the only two people that matter here when they're going to tell you a time frame when Xana and Ethan get home. Right? And since they cannot do that, that's a problem. Right? So, it doesn't really matter if I have a picture of Xana at 2 a.m. and o'clock and 2 a.m. in the morning. That's helpful. I already know that because Mortensen, our prime suspect, and the Hobbit, they also confirmed the fact that they didn't come home. They never saw them come home. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Nobody ever saw them come back to the house. And then all of a sudden, Xana and Ethan are butchered in their fucking room. You know? And all of a sudden, Maddie and Kaylee are butchered in Maddie's room. That's what happens here in this case. Right? I don't think so, guys. But anyway, just remember this. It doesn't matter because Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, they were both home at this period of time. They were both up for this period of time. The same with Kaylee and Maddie. Unfortunately, you can't talk to Kaylee and Maddie about it because they were killed. So it falls on Dylan and Bethany. And their time frames and their times and everything they said that happened in that house from the time they got home and the time they fucking were doing their shenanigans. Nobody saw or talked to or had any interactions with Xana Kernodle or Ethan Chapin. That is the fact, Jack. And that's all we need to know here in my garden. And that is the fact, Jack. You understand that, Jack? That's the fact. I am Masternature. Don't forget that. Welcome. What is your name? Owen Groff, 5613. I feel I'm going to have to rename you soon. Oh, well, good for you. You seem like a troll. Are you a troll? I hope not. Anyway. Whatever. Document 10. I could be reading it wrong. Sounds like another mail to me. Very, very strange. I don't. Very strange. I don't know. Talk about that later, I guess. Remember, the DoorDash order supposedly shows up around what? 4 o'clock in the morning, right? However, the DoorDash order was placed, I think, about an hour and 45 minutes before it was dropped off. Something like that is a really long time. So that would peg that order placement, what, around to, I don't know, what, 45? Maybe. Maybe they go to that park. I don't know. What happened? Do we get chased? How was the other one? Oh, Masternature. I know, they're not ready for it. No, I know. Anyway, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. All right, let's carry on. Boy, oh boy. Remember, I have to... Oh, my God. All right, let's carry on. So that was document 10. ISP. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Where are we at? All right, what's the next thing we're going to do? Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Yes, thank you. Eric Gower home footage. Thank you. I don't know, guys. I saw this. Thank you for the recommendation. You know who you are. I mean, I saw this. This comes from Christie's Chaos. Eric Gower home footage. I mean, I checked this out. Some people feel there's some shady shit going on here. I don't know. It switches between two different camera angles. He does have a white fucking pickup truck, by the way. Which is interesting. So, yeah. See, Eric Gower home footage. Ring camera. Right? Ring camera. Something. Oh, yeah. Ring back up. Okay. I mean, this really doesn't bother me because, well, maybe it might. But look, I'd be more concerned if the white truck here, I'd be more concerned if the white truck moved at all between, like 2 o'clock in the morning and like, I don't know, 10 in the morning, whatever. I'd be more concerned about that if this white truck went anywhere. So that's, what I'm saying. That white truck would be more concerning to me. If this white truck moves at all during the course of any of this time frame, that would worry me, but I don't think it does. I don't know. I mean, it would make sense because, but I don't know. I do not know if this truck moves at all. We see his other automobile coming back and forth. I guess supposedly from making deliveries. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I guess he's making deliveries. Eric Gower, right? So, yeah, so you'll see this. Now fast forward. So I guess he's home again now. I don't have really a timestamp on when he's coming back and forth. I don't think I have a timestamp. Or do I? It's very hard to see it. Jesus Christ. Wow, that's very hard to see. All right, never mind. That's way down in that corner. Holy shit. How do I beef this up? Okay, that's a little better. Now I can see the goddamn timestamp. 2:43 a.m. All right, okay, hey, now I can dig it. 2:43. Oh, okay, another angle here. So that's him coming home. What the fuck time is that? That looks really scrambled there for some reason. Hang on, guys. What the fuck? That looks really scrambled now. Hang on. I'm sorry, I gotta spit on you. What the fuck? Still hard to fucking read what that is. God damn, what the fuck? I can't read that fucking timestamp, guys. It's 11 something, but there's like an overlay on it, which is really fucking weird. There's like this. Okay, now it's a little clearer. What the fuck is that? So anyway, that's Gower leaving his fucking house again. Why is that timestamp so fucking blurry? I mean, I can't even see it. Guys, I can't even see it just looking at it on the computer like this. With it blown up. It still's like fucking distorted. What the fuck? Unless my eyes are absolutely horrible. Which is possible, but god damn. That is really fucking hard to see, guys. Holy shit. Seriously. I'm like, okay, that's a little better. Good grief. Okay, 3:25 a.m. 3:25 a.m. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Right? Jesus Christ. Mrs. John. Where's Mrs. John, Satire? Welcome, Satire. Jesus Christ. For real is right, Chrissy. Welcome, Chrissy X. Vera. I love you. I love you. All right. 326. Oh, there he goes. 326. Now remember, he supposedly dropped off Kaylee and Maddie around what? 1:50, whatever, close to 2 o'clock in the morning. There you go. What time's this? 3:20. Again, 3:26. Can't fucking read it. 3:26, I guess. The fuck? What the fuck, Chuck? Okay, we fast forward a little bit. See what happened. Okay, switch to this view again. And what time we at here? Oh, 6:19, baby. Okay, 6:19 a.m. White truck still there. White truck still there. White truck still there. Interesting. Hang on, guys. I just want to see something. I'm sorry, guys. I want to see something, right? Hang on. I'm sorry. I just want to see something, guys. Sorry. I have to back up a little bit. What time's that? 2:26. Yeah, that looks consistent. Think. Yeah, alright, never mind, guys. I was just looking at the white truck and just seeing if there was in the same position that it was from like 3:26 to like 6:19 where we're at here. Or whatever, yeah, 6:19. I just want to see if there's any movement on this white truck. I don't know. It looks exactly like it was. It didn't move at all. So I'm not, see, again, I'd be more concerned about the truck. And it doesn't seem like it moved at all. So I don't know about this. You know what I mean? It's interesting. But what we got? Alright. What we got there? Times this. Okay, now we're at 12:45 p.m. 11:13. Okay, what are we doing? We're taking stuff. What are we doing? Whatever. Backpack. Whatever that is. Fuck, let's take it out. That's it. That's all right. Hey, thank you, Christy. Of course, you know her. You know what to do. Anyway, interesting. But, whatever. I think people have, they're placing him at different spots, and I don't know, guys. But, I think what would concern me more is if that white truck moved, if that white truck moved at all in that time period between 2 to 7, whatever. It doesn't matter. If that white truck moved and was driving around, or he got into that white truck and was driving that for whatever reason, that would very much concern me. Because there is this white truck or this truck thing floating around, and Dylan Mortensen thinks she saw a truck out the window, but she couldn't be sure. Blah blah blah. She didn't know what color it was. So this whole truck thing is, but it doesn't appear that his truck moved at all during that time frame. So so I'm not worried about that. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't think he was that involved with the crime, guys. I personally don't think that. No, not that involved. Not that I'm saying he didn't know things. I'm just saying, in terms of participation in the actual murders, no. No. I absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not think he at all participated in the murders at all. No, of course not. Did he know? Did he have some sort of information? He knew what may have happened. Maybe, but it's I don't know. Look. They supposedly searched his car, pretty quickly after this, and they didn't find a fucking thing in his car. They didn't find any blood. They didn't. Then this is according to Moscow police. They didn't find anything in his car. They did do a search of his car. They didn't find nothing. So just like Kohlberger, right? Only Kohlberger. Well, you know what happened to Kohlberger, right? Of course. But they didn't find anything. Supposedly, they didn't find anything that Eric Gower's car either to implicate him in this crime. So, bye-bye. Yeah. Just like Kohlberger here. Cocksuckers out there in Washington State University. You little rent-a-cocksucker cops. Oh, you just happened to hit the fucking lottery, did you? Out of 80 to 90 registered white Hyundai Elantras on the Washington State University campus. Something like that, about 90? You just happen to win a fucking lottery while you're searching the Washington State University, I guess, archive, DMV registered vehicles on the campus, and you just got lucky that you happened to see Kohlberger's car in Pullman, Washington, right? Remember all that? So I'm like, well, again, the question is, what did you do about the other, I forget how many it was, 80 or 90 vehicles? What did you do about the rest of the vehicles? Did you look at all of them? No, of course not. So just because fat, slappy Joe Ham, fucking inbred, for whatever reason, got the bright idea to query white Hyundai Elantras on the Washington State campus. Well, how did you rule out the other fucking 80 cars? But no, Slap Happy Ham here. He got ultra lucky, and yeah, he just happened to find the right fucking car out of 90 other cars. Okay, right. And then I read stupid emails to Slap Happy inbred fucking idiot. Stupid story bullshit. Yeah, Slap Happy dick. And you know what I mean? Inbred from Washington State, apparently. I'm like, okay. Hey, geez, Bob. Geez, Bob, do you think we should query, like, what Hyundai Elantras on the Washington State University campus, dear Bob? Yeah, that's a good idea. We should query, white Hyundai Elantras, on the Washington State, University, grounds or whatever, campus or whatever, right? Okay, let's do it, Bob. Well, fucking hell. What is it? Well, it's coming back here. There's about 80 or 90 registered white Hyundai Elantras that fit the description of the car that we got. Oh, wow, that seems like a lot of cars, a Tyrone dispatcher. I'm sorry, Tyrone, Washington State Rent-A-Cop. Well, what do you think we should do, MD? There seems like a lot of them here. We queried them, remember? We queried the cars. Hey, what about this one? There's one right here that says, Pullman, Washington. Hey, that's just where we are. And it's in this parking lot in this apartment complex, guys. And, hey, what do you think about that? Should we just... Well, it is very close. You're right, MD. It is very close to where we're at. And you know what? Hey, MD, I really do not feel like trekking halfway across the fucking state here to figure out the other 84 to 82 fucking cars here. No, it's right here. MD, you're a fucking genius, MD. You are a fucking genius. You know that? I know. I don't get any credit for it either. My garden. I don't get any credit, Mrs. John. You all think I'm like Ashley. I'm not like Ashley. Don't lump me together with Ashley, okay? That would be very cruel of you to do. I'm not like Ashley at all. But I am the face if you want it. I'm the face if you want it. I'm the face if you want it. Now, what are we discussing again? Purple Moon Rock, Blue Haze, Baby's Garden. You all now in the electric church, honey. Look. You want to, now, I know my people coming in here like, this guy, what is he talking about? Look, you in the electric church, baby. The minute you step foot in my chat, guess what? You in the electric church, baby. So the best thing for you to do if you're a newbie, sit down in that fucking pew. Okay, sit down in the pew and just listen. Okay, just listen. That's all you have. If you're a fucking newbie in the electric church, sit down in the fucking pew and just fucking listen, baby. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do a other goddamn thing. All right, my love? All right. That's right, baby. Because why? Because we are the greatest of all time. That's why. I am because I fucking am. Don't you fucking forget that, by the way. Who am I? I am because I am. And don't you ever forget that. That's right. I said unto you, don't you ever call that name out. I told you who I am. Now why, but you keep asking my name. And then you say shit like me. Well, what does Desiderata mean, Master Nature? What does that Desiderata mean? I'm like, oh my fucking God. The questions never stop. All right. Wait. A little bit roots of the garden, quadrophrenic. And this is act number 2, my loves. This is act number 2, my loves.
I'm Donna Bertudo.
Hello, Donna.
Brian Kohlberger built on a series of critical hidden errors.
The prosecution indicates that Brian Kohlberger entered the house,
Right.
killed 2 people on the 3rd floor, made his way downstairs, killed 2 people on the 2nd floor, got back into his car, and left in approximately 4 minutes. The question is this.
Okay.
If one person, Brian Kohlberger, and he pled guilty, but if one person, Brian Kohlberger, somehow altered the 2nd floor of that house, how did he do it in that amount of time, and why did he do it?
We are digging into Broken Plea, a former FBI agent's critique of the Idaho murder investigation. Before we dive in today, if you are enjoying the show, please go ahead and hit the follow button. It's the easiest way to make sure you never miss.
This is where I'm getting it from, my loves. Let's go, Donna.
Fox Digital reporter.
Don, whatever your what's your name?
On this story since day one.
Who are you?
So, Mike, let's talk.
Oh, that's
about
right, Donna.
Sort of lay out Kohlberger.
Well, no, you're not the Donna, but you're Donna.
How it ended up to where we are.
You're not the Reverend Donna. All right,
into my next guest,
well, fuck my tingling. You're not the Reverend Donna.
Broken Plea.
Now, Mrs. John. Oh, you fucking cunt. Welcome, Sata. Wait a minute. Whoa. Hang on, Rusty. Who the you look like a truck driver. Who is this guy? Mike Ruiz. He's a Fox News digital reporter. Okay, you look like you drive a truck for a living. But anyway, sorry we missed that guy. Hang on, because Mrs. John came in here and interrupted that thing. Mrs. John has a way of doing that, by the way. Yeah. Well, fucking piss. That's right. Hey, it's all right. I don't know. Oh my God. Oh my good grief.
Too good.
Oh my God, Mrs. John. All right, quick break. Hey, quick break. We got to get on to, the he, she. Look, Mrs. John, you we got to get back on the Hishi. You know what I'm saying? That's the main theme of the live tonight. We cannot neglect the Hishi here, Mrs. John. I know. Look, the war ends now, Mrs. John. The war ends now, Mrs. John. Yeah, that's right, Mrs. John. The war has to end right now. Look, it's been like the final battle. Like part 32. We can't have any more parts to the final battle, Mrs. John. Like, people are not going to take us seriously anymore, Mrs. John. Satire, please tell Mrs. John. People are not going to take us seriously anymore. You cannot have 98 final fucking battles here, Mrs. John. It doesn't work like that. Oh my God. Maisie, why are you retarded? Maisie. And like, you're like you're in a cult. Okay. It's like, hey Maisie, I'm sorry to tell you this, but like, the cult you're in? Like when you were a little baby, you know what they did to like, little baby girls in your cult there? I didn't want to tell you, Maisie. I was trying to hold back the secret. Please, my God, and don't judge Maisie for this, okay? And she didn't know this, okay? But well, like little girls like Maisie, what they do is they would tie rubber bands to one side of their fucking cheek, and the minute they're born, they tie a rubber band to one side of their fucking cheek, and so they can't talk. Oh my God, Maisie. So I'm gonna show you again the effects of that, Maisie. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I know it's traumatic, Maisie. I know it's traumatic, and but no, that's what happened to you. Look, when you were born, your parents, they instructed the religious deacon of your church to rubber band half your cheek together, like so you couldn't move it. And that's why you sound the way you do now, Maisie. I love you, Mrs. John. We are the greatest of all time, Mrs. John. Okay, I'm sorry, Chrissy. I will not sing. Chrissy, you don't want me singing? Oh my God. Chrissy. I thought you liked my singing. You think I'm like Stevie Wonder and shit. I'm blind and oh, I see how it is. You're trying to use my disability, Chrissy. Oh my God. Hey. I'm sorry. You're right. It's all about the dingoes. I'm sorry. Look, hey, that's a good excuse I can use, Garden. Because when Maisie harasses me every now and then, I can say, like, look, no, because, well, well, I already have 2 kids, by the way, from Ashley. But I could always say like like a dingo. Dingo's gonna eat our baby or something. Yeah, I could do that. Like dingoes like really like corn, and so And I heard there's a lot of dingoes out there in Boise, Idaho. So you're Maisie, it's not safe to have a child out there. Ah! And you know what? And guess what? You know what Maisie would say? She'd say this. Like, what up, dog? What are you talking about? I love you! Mrs. John, I love you! Oh my god. Like, hey, dog, what are you talking about? Hold on. I love you. Mrs. John, Maisie, Idaho State. I love you for the what kind of fucking potatoes are you growing? Oh my good grief! Holy shit! This case would have never been solved without you being crooked. Nah, it's just Dylan. I don't know, Dylan or a friend. Yes, all right. Act 2. That's right, Act 2. Act 2 is one of those weird acts where, like, it could go on forever and, like, have no real purpose until you get to Act 3 and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Where were we? Sorry, guys. Where were we? All right, here we go. Sorry, guys. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Mrs. John, are you prepared?
To Jurassic Park.
Oh, my.
Can someone translate?
Oh, here we go, Mrs. John. Oh, my.
His energy.
Mrs. John, you here? Oh, my God. Now, she even embarrassed. But she's at 12, too. What the fuck is happening? Downvote. Downvote. Hey, I didn't write. Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my fucking god. Straight to the goddamn Bleecker Street. Straight to Bleecker Street. Straight to the goddamn bell tower.
This seems fun.
Straight to the Whitechapel.
Give this kid an Oscar.
Oh my fucking god.
Don't
All
say
right.
he hung.
Oh, here we go. Mrs. John, here we go.
She is hard.
Oh my CB, you're not dating that, are you? CB, you're not dating that, are you? All right, sorry. hey, CB, you still there? You're not dating that kind of shit, are you? Anyway, Miss John. Now, I don't know what's going on, Snowpiercer. Shit getting weird here. Welcome, Creamy Roll. Terry Lynn, what's going on with you? Now, CB, I know you're out there sometimes in the street working and working hard, but just say no. Just say no to that. Oh my God! All right, she cool as fuck. All right, fine. She's cool as fuck, Snoopy. I don't care. She cool as fuck. Whatever. Now, where are we at? All right. Okay, all right. Well, maybe not.
What do you think that happened here?
Oh my God! You're gonna beat him with a pole? Oh my God! Look, you gotta. What the fuck is this? Are you gonna beat him with a pole? There he is. All right. Oh my God! What's going on here? Oh my.
Good job, kiddo.
Oh, okay.
Have fun.
Oh, here we go.
Meet the gang.
Justina. You go, boss! Lady Francesca. Time to see the stars of Venus stars.
What do you think?
All right, guys. That's it. Hey, whatever you want to do. Okay, whatever you want to do. Oh, all right. Hey, whatever. Right, whatever. All right. Oh my God, Mrs. John. Well, I guess the war must carry on, I guess. Oh my God. We'll get it right one of these fucking days. All right. Welcome, Snoopy, for real. Thank you for the suggestion, by the way. Interesting. Moscow Social Club. All right, let's carry on. I do want to watch this a little bit. Carry on. Quick break. We'll watch this. Wrap it up. It's a goddamn Monday, guys. Goddamn Monday. It's just a goddamn Monday, all right? Remember that. It's a fucking Monday. But remember the theme of this video, or excuse me, this live. What's the theme of this one? If you got vacation time, fucking take it. Don't forget that. All right, quick break. Get on to Act 3, conclude, and get on and say, bye-bye, Master Nature. Bye-bye. You fucking, well, we know what you are. All right, let's carry on. Carry on. Oi.
The Idaho murder investigation. Before we dive in today, if you are enjoying or you never miss an episode, reporter Mike Ruiz, who has been on this story since day one.
Mike Ruiz.
So, Mike, let's talk about sort of layout.
Wait, I was just delivering popcorn.
From the beginning, in terms of where the case started to how it ended up to where we are now, and that'll be a great segue into
Mike Ruiz.
Who has written
all right,
this
Mike.
Fascinating book, Broken Plea.
Broken my ass.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to start all the way at the beginning, it's November 13th, 2022. It's the week before students at the University of Idaho are going home for Thanksgiving break.
Right.
There is a home invasion, mass murder of 4 students in a house just a few feet off of campus.
Right.
And it perplexed investigators for a while. It was 7 weeks before they had an arrest. The suspect was Brian Koberger.
Which is not long.
They picked him up at his parents' house in Pennsylvania on the other side of the country. The saga of how they found him and identified him as their person of interest and then their suspect played out over a period of years. And we've been seeing a trickle of information for most of it. Now he's pleaded guilty. He's in prison. They've put a lot of stuff out in the public realm through freedom of information and public records laws. But there's also a lot of stuff that we hadn't seen before that primarily would have been things that the defense would have introduced to the public if this had gone to trial, which it didn't. And that's a lot of what Chris wrote about in this new book, Broken Plea.
Joining me now is FBI Special Agent and investigative journalist Chris Whitcomb.
All right, baby.
Thank you so much for joining
Welcome to the show, love. Hello, Whitcomb.
Hi, Donna. Thanks for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
I'm really happy
I am the author of the show.
Of this book, and I find it fascinating.
Hope you like this, Equinox. How dare they call us inauthentic, Sir Equinox? Are we not the greatest of all time?
Book fascinating, and of course, some of this information is information
we analyze everything, don't we do sometimes, babies?
Extraordinary, given the coverage this case got.
Well, never.
Yeah, it really is. Many people know this case. One of the most sensational.
You're the greatest analyst of all time.
Memory. But what I think is really compelling, when Brian Koberger changed his plea to guilty and went away behind bars for life, he took all the answers that so many people want with him. And because, as Mike has said, much of this information, none of this would ever come out at trial, we are left with those questions and very, very little information. And that's what I've really tried to do in this book, is give people a sense of what they don't know, perhaps.
Well, and I think what's really been interesting about it, especially for me, is as I read it,
for
clearly
example?
I followed it very, very thoroughly from the beginning, and then obviously with Fox as the plea took place and forward. And we were all surprised about the plea. It all kind of seemed to happen very fast.
Yes, it
we
did.
knew that there were
I
motions
agree.
pending that ended up not being heard, and then, bam, he takes this deal. And, there was all the controversy
Very
surrounding
quick.
some of the family members being
But-
okay with it, some
but-
of the family members of the victim saying, we weren't even notified of this. So a lot of things happened very quickly.
But there's room.
And as a defense attorney, I can understand sometimes those things.
It was very quick. It was very quick. However, I'd like to also say this. If we remember, yes, this is a while back. However, there were rumors of a plea deal that was going to happen about 3 weeks before, at least 3 weeks before it actually went down. Maybe even a month before. Right. You know what I'm talking about? I did a video of that, right? Because I am the greatest psychic in the world, by the way. So check that video out, if you haven't seen that. Yeah, it's called Don't Take a Plea, Brian Kohlberger. Don't take a fucking plea. And that was done about a month, and I think it was about a month before the plea happened. That's when all that started. So go check that video out. And I think that was about at least a month before Brian Kohlberger took a plea deal. So check my video out, and I kind of like that because I am the greatest psychic in the face of the planet. So I do like that one because I'm dead on with that and most everything else, but whatever.
Things happen, and if a client says, I want to take a deal, and you have to make things happen fast, especially when you have a trial date set and a judge saying, if you're going to do something about this, you better do it before jury subpoenas go out and all the subpoenas to the witnesses go out. And so, I can understand the rush at that point, but now sort of looking back and dissecting it, it's really an interesting conversation to have. So I'm really excited to do that with you today. And the first thing I want to talk to you about in your
Let's
book,
go,
it's
bitch.
probably the only one I'm going to challenge you on just a little bit, is it was in the very beginning, and I
Let's
think it was
challenge,
actually in
bitch.
the prologue, where you said that
All right.
clients that have the ability to pay their lawyers put themselves in different positions. And obviously, as a lawyer who gets paid to try cases, what I always say, and I think I'm one of the only ones that challenges this point, is clients that have higher profile cases need people who stand up for them in such a strong way, because the power of the government is going at them even tougher. So people think, it's better to be somebody who can afford lawyers, and it's better to be a person of means. But at the end of the day, a lot of times, those are the people the government is coming after even harder, and they're using more resources on these big cases. So that was just my first point that I wanted to make.
Well, listen, I would agree, and I would say very well said, although I didn't quote him at the beginning. Mark Twain had that famous line about justice and the quality of their attorneys. And it's not always money. As you say, there's some very, very talented public defenders. But we've seen in high-profile cases, the O.J. case, probably iconic in these discussions. So I think what I was trying to say is there's an awful lot that people don't know about the judge.
First of all, sorry guys, her argument is completely fucking stupid. And he politely shot her down by bringing up the O.J. Simpson case. Yeah. This I don't know what her premise here exactly is, but it's really stupid. So let's go back and watch. Okay, because he politely shoots her down by bringing up the OJs. Oh yeah, she's trying to make the case that you don't really need a high. You don't necessarily need a high pay a lot of money for a good defense. You don't really need that because this may happen to you. That is probably the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. Listen to this shit. He, she.
But at the end of the day, a lot of times, those are the people the government is coming after.
This makes no sense. Listen to this argument. Listen to this argument, guys.
At the very beginning, and I think it was actually in the prologue, where you said that clients that have the ability to pay their lawyers put themselves in different positions. And obviously, as a lawyer who gets paid to try cases, what I always say, and I think I'm one of the only ones that challenges this point, is clients that have higher profile cases need people who stand up for them in such a strong way because the power of the government is going at them even tougher. So people think, oh, it's better to be somebody who can afford lawyers, and it's better to...
Okay, look, that was the first part of her argument there, okay? Now, guys, does this make sense to you? She's a fucking moron. Listen to this. So this is the end of her first argument, listen.
Even tougher. So people think, oh, it's better to be somebody who can afford...
No, sorry. She's making this argument, right?
I always say, and I think I'm one of the only ones...
I always say, and I think I'm the only ones who say this...
That challenges this point.
That challenges this point...
Is clients...
Listen. Is clients that... Have higher...
Profile cases. Need people
who can stand up
for them in such a strong way.
Because
the power of the government
is going to
at them even tougher.
Is going to come at that even tougher. So, okay, that's point number 1 she's trying to make here, okay? Point 1, right? We are the greatest. Welcome to the electric church. That's point 1 she's trying to make. And to prove this point, or to at least support this point that you just heard, she's going to say this. And before we get to this, Goonie fucking Google. Goonie Google. Goonie Google. Mrs. John. The garden. Goonie Google. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Step right up, step right up, step right up. Have no fear. Step right up, step right up. Behold, the newest tonic on the market. This one swig of this will cure all your ills. Come, taste it, taste it, taste it. Oh, yeah, Jenny Aguirre. Yeah, Aguirre, yeah. Right. point one. Point one. We pick it up with point two, which is supposed to support point one, but it does not support. It does not. It makes no sense whatsoever. I love you, Master Nature. I love your God. Oh my God. You're ridiculous. Hello, are you there? Are you there? Hey, Nancy. Nancy. What do you want, Stanley? Nancy, you can't stay here forever. Where's my $1 million? Shut up, Stanley. Go fuck yourself. I'll be out sometime. I need my $1 million, asshole. All right. Where were we at? Yeah, point two. Forgot about that. Oops, point two. Right, point two. Let's see what I'm talking about. Right, high profile case. Lots of a lot of pressure here, blah, blah, right? Blah, 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 blah. Here is my point to support what I just said.
So people think, oh, it's better to be
somebody
who can afford lawyers, and it's
to be somebody. No, listen to this. Okay, listen.
Them even tougher. So people think, oh, it's
better to be somebody who can afford
lawyers, and it's
better to be a person of means. But
the day, a lot of times, those are the people the government is coming.
But at the end of the day, a lot of times, those are the people the government is coming after.
Even harder, and they're using
more resources on these big cases. So that was just my first point
that I wanted to make.
Guys, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Oh my God. You know what I'm seeing here, guys? Those two things that she's trying to say, they don't go together at all. Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. Chris Whitcomb, come on, man. And then he tries to subtly kind of say you're an idiot by saying this. So he brings up the O.J. Simpson case, all right? To be like, well, you're kind of an idiot.
I would agree, and I would say...
I would agree. Well, you're an idiot.
Although I didn't quote him at the beginning. Martin.
Well, Yeah, and then first of all, the Mark Twain quote doesn't fit what she's trying to say, but whatever.
Twain had that famous line about justice and the quality of their attorneys. And it's not always money. As you say, there's some very, very talented public defenders. But
like who?
Profile cases, the OJ case.
Yeah, there's some really talented public defenders, but because her argument is completely fucking bullshit, so he's like, yeah, there's some talented public defenders, but
the quality of their attorneys, and it's not always money, as you say. There's some very, very
it's not always money, but yeah, it is, idiot. But right, as you say,
very talented public defenders.
There's some very talented public defenders. We don't name anybody, right? But then he says this.
But we've seen in high-profile cases, the OJ case, probably iconic in these discussions. So I think.
So you're an idiot. So that's like a kind of subtle like stop being stupid, because the O.J. Simpson case, there are a lot of high-profile fucking attorneys in that one. So what he's saying to her is, you're naive and you're an idiot. And he's saying the O.J. Simpson case comes to mind with what you're talking about, moron. And look how that turned out. So, yeah. And O.J. Simpson, as we know, well, he had the dream team. So he's kind of smacking her in the face a little bit here. Because she's an idiot. Because her fucking thoughts are stupid.
Very, very talented public defenders.
But
we've seen in high-profile cases, the OJ case, probably iconic in these discussions. So
yeah.
I think what I was trying to say is there's an awful lot that people don't know about the justice system that you do, and I'm very, very keen to talk.
I don't know about that.
It's great for me as well to talk to an attorney who's tried cases and understands the ins and outs of these things.
Uh-huh.
So I really, there were so many things I want to talk about. I think we'll try to keep it as, concise as we can given our time period that we have. But what I first want to talk about is looking at the defense team here. The defense team has really remained unbelievably quiet, right? They have not said much. The lead lawyer on the case, Ann Taylor, did come out recently and make a statement in regard to one of the sources in your book, who we heard Mike talk about, Brett Turvey. And, I want to talk to you a little bit about that because, of course, that statement came out after the book and the information about the book was released. And now she's saying, basically this is a person that signed, non-disclosures and shouldn't be talking about this. And there was a privilege. And, so the fact that now she's sort of throwing her own expert under the bus, I'm wondering
Good question.
What your take is on that. And if you think that diminishes the source, for you, given the fact that she's now come out and
good
said
question.
He's
Hey,
going
great question. That's a good question.
About him doing.
That's a good question.
The only things I'll say about Dr. Brent Turvey, because he can certainly speak for himself, and he has. He's been vocal, and I assume he'll say more. But a couple things. One,
yes, he is.
Brent Turvey is one of the most ethically centered, professional, and experienced people I've ever dealt with in 30 years of working in law enforcement and the intelligence community and places like this. And Dr. Turvey, as I said numerous times in this book, would only talk very specific terms about very specific things that he felt he had latitude to discuss. And I've stated that in the book, and I've talked about it afterwards. One thing I have not said, and I think it's important to state, is this. I said in the book, I thanked in the acknowledgments, and I relied upon other sources, several sources. He, among all of them, was the only source that I spoke with who consented to using his name. He, after 3,000 cases, 30 years of working as an expert witness, he's testified in more than 75 trials. He's written 20 or 22 books or something like that. He is a wildly experienced in this field, and I don't know that I've ever met a person that was more dedicated to the truth within the construct of the ethical guidelines of his profession. So I'll let him speak for himself, but I don't think the things that may have been mentioned in the public sector are fair or accurate at all.
Well, and what I found interesting about the statement was I tried to put myself in Ann Taylor's shoes, and I thought if I was going to make a statement, and again, she has not said much, right? She has never made any public statements. She's never come out, spoken to the media. She did not come out after the plea and make any statements. And, you know, I understand that, but at the same time, this case had so much media attention. They're talking about it whether she makes a statement or not, and sometimes it's better to make your own statement than to let others make them for you. But what I did find interesting was I thought if this book was written and I was going to respond to something, I would probably be responding to the criticisms about what I did or didn't do in the book much more than I would be worried about the person who may have talked, right? So I thought that was just a very interesting response from her. I was thinking, I was waiting for the next paragraph to say, and these are the reasons why these decisions were made. And that paragraph never came, which I found quite interesting.
Yeah, I want to say something unequivocally. Nobody's ever asked me these questions. I haven't even had a chance to talk about it. But we're in the source business, right? I worked as a journalist. My first job before I went in the FBI was a print journalist at a daily newspaper. And I've written for major publications. And I had a show on CNBC with Martha McCallum now at Fox for a year, and was nominated for Peabody, reporting from Guantanamo Bay. I say these things for only one reason. I've worked in sources, confidential sources, in law enforcement and in the media for 30 years. And I tried to be very, very careful in talking about information that was given to me by people who felt very, very strongly on one side or another that justice may or may not have been done. And the reason I bring all this up is because people talk about Dr. Turvey because he's the only one, in my opinion, who was brave enough to allow his name to be used in a book. But I can tell you unequivocally, and Mike, I think you'll back me up on this, there are other sources who will be named and who will come forward themselves in the not distant future. There are so many people in the universe of having access to the information. I think this is the first and maybe the most surprising, but it is not, in my opinion, definitely not the last word we'll hear in terms of information being given out. So thank you for bringing up this conversation, but this is not one person. It's not even a small group of people.
Right. Well, I think the only reason we're bringing it up, of course, is because the only person mentioned, and like you said, it is very brave to be the only person to use your name. And I've always said that if you stand behind what you're going to say, you should come forward and do it. So I have a lot of respect for that. But given the fact that the only person that I guess is out there to be criticized,
don't trigger me again, Master Nature,
came out and did that, I think is worth the conversation. Given the fact that she is really under fire here when it comes to some of the things that
that's right.
Why she didn't do. So
no, you're right. Oh my God. You totally forgot, didn't you, MD? Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, hang on. Yeah, this is what I meant. Yeah, and yeah. Remember, guys, what I said about Maisie being in a cult and shit? Remember what I said that they do when they're born? They tie rubber bands around their cheeks so you can't talk out one side of your mouth. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Hang on, guys.
Triplets were living their best lives, but that feeling was short-lived. It was our story of
Oh my God.
911 only.
MD, really? We have to do this again. MD, we have to do this. Oh God. Here we go. MD, really?
Story of him. This morning,
There she
as the Idaho
is.
murder suspect prepares to accept a plea deal, the family of Ethan
Look,
Jenkins
remember,
speaking publicly together
one
for the
side
first
of the
time
mouth,
since
guys.
Ethan, his girlfriend Xana Kernodle, and her roommates Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez were brutally murdered in an off-campus home at the University of Idaho.
Okay.
I miss him every day.
Oh, no.
Your son.
No, Maisie.
20.
Look.
You know, it's
They screwed her mouth up, guys, when she was
different
little.
loss.
Remember the rubber band? Look, watch.
Every single day.
Yeah, great, Jim. But look, watch.
And I always will.
I'm sure.
Ethan, a
But
triplet
anyway.
with his siblings,
Oh,
Hunter
Sears
and Maisie,
catalog.
all attending the University of
Right,
Idaho
Sears
together.
catalog and stuff.
Hunter and Maisie and their parents, Jim and Stacy, now telling their story in a new Prime Video docuseries, One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, remembering their 6'4", larger-than-life brother and son.
We played every sport together. Every time we went in the car, we were together.
Mr. Chuckles.
Partied together. There was never a dull moment.
The night before Ethan was killed,
Mr. Chuckles.
Maisie brought him to her sorority formal. She now cherishes the text.
Oh, there she is.
sent her
Look,
before bed.
listen.
So he started off by texting me. I think he said, "Dog, come hang out. We all want you here." And I said, "I'm
Look, she
going
can't
to
move
bed."
the other side of
And
her
he said,
face.
"Love you." And I didn't even respond to that. I think I was asleep by then.
And the I love you kind of stood out, though.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Hunter.
See, that's what happened, guys.
This
Oh,
morning, a friend at the fraternity woke him up.
it's like they tied her mouth up with like a rubber band, and it fucked her speech all up. Maisie, I'm sorry. You caught the curse of the corn people. The curse of the corn people. And that's why we can never have children with each other ever. Despite what some of the garden thinks about it. Yeah, dog. Oh my God, you scare me. It almost sounds like you're annoyed. Hey, you know what's really weird, Maisie? It sounds like you're annoyed that you got a text like that from your brother. You know, really, it sounds like you're, not only are you, well, you had a rubber band tied to this half the side of your fucking face when you were growing up, but it sounds like you're kind of annoyed that you got a text like that. Like, hey, dog, what's going on, dog? You know, kind of like you're surprised, kind of a ha-ha surprise, but you almost kind of sound like you're a little annoyed, though, by it. Amazing. Like, hey, dog. And were you surprised when Ethan texted you that he loved you? Were you surprised by that? Well, yeah, I guess. Like, okay. She's a valley girl. She's a valley girl. Like, totally. Like, gag me with a spoon. Like, well, you know, like, that's the first time you heard your brother was, like, killed, right? She's like, I know. Like, can you believe it? Like, gag me with a spoon. Like, hey, dog, what's up? Like, oh, God, gag me with a spoon. All right. Barf me out, man. All right. She's a valley girl. Like, she's not sad at all about it. Hey, guys, I don't know what's going on. Well, I know I don't know what's going on. But listen, she ain't sad at all, man. She ain't sad at all. She's like, hey, dog, let's go. What's up, dog? Like, well, that's why I love her face. Yeah, but no little corn people, guys. Ever, ever, ever. That would be like biohazard shit. No, that would be like Resident Evil kind of shit going on there. Like Resident Evil guy. Oh my god. Hello, Goblin. Back from your adventure again. Any secrets from the witches? No. Well, once again, my garden, the familiar proves my point. Anyway. Alright, guys. Man, we gotta get to this. We gotta get to a reading, don't we? Yes, we do. Alright. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Oh yeah, where were you?
I think that it was
A little bit more of this.
mentioning, given the fact that we have really not heard from her otherwise. What I want to get into is I want you to pick the 3 most compelling parts of this book in terms of what we are finding out now, what you think should have been challenged, and having a conversations about those things. I mean, my guess is you're going to tell me, obviously, the chain of custody and the DNA on the knife sheet. I think we're going to talk about the way the police processed the scene. And then, you tell me what your 3 favorites are. But those are the 2 that sort of jumped out to me as the best conversations to have about this plea, the trial that didn't happen, and the evidence we're learning about.
Great question, and I think I might surprise you. And I would say, a bit cryptically, that the best part of Broken Plea never ended up in the book. The publisher cut about 25 or 30 pages out of the book. Now, this is 25 or 30 pages out of a 430-page book, so let's put it in perspective, right? But I never talked about, for various reasons, any of the names that have come up during the conversation that many people know and that have been mentioned, anything from persons of interest to witnesses to people that have said various things during the course. So what is in the book now itself, in my opinion, the number 1 most compelling, most troublesome, and what I hope generates the most interest moving forward is the common areas of the second floor of that house. And anybody that has read the book understands that this is a relatively small part of the book itself, but the book is laid out kind of like a grand jury presentation, Donna, as you have looked at so many times, which is different than the way other people have written books. I did not do recent interviews because I wanted to look at the information people have not seen that they didn't get to look at going to trial so we could generate that conversation.
The small common areas of the second floor. That's so what he's saying here is, right? Of course, we know this, right? But what he's saying here is a great theme for him in his looking in this case in his book is the this is a theme for him. It's an important theme. It's a small part or whatever part of the book. I don't know what he's saying, but it's the common areas, right, of the second floor. That's one of his great interests here.
The very first one is this. The third floor bedroom
Okay.
looks, in my experience, and I have a fair amount, like a traditional crime scene.
Third
the
floor
second
bedroom.
floor bedroom looks almost exactly the same, like a traditional horrific crime scene. The common areas, meaning the third floor hallway, down the stairs to the second floor, across the living room, left down the hallway into Xana's bedroom, that has all the characteristics of a crime scene, but dramatically differently. And as the prosecution's own expert, Paulette Sutton, has said, and I quote in the book, that those blood spatter, those stains recovered during the forensic analysis of the crime scene were, quote unquote, diluted with an unknown substance. She doesn't say that about the third floor bedroom. She doesn't say that about the second floor bedroom. She only talks about a very large physical space on the second floor. And no one to this day has discussed how that's possible. And I think I would say that's number one. Number two, I think Mike might be responsible for this, but I think he was the first one to read the book and say the issue that stood out was the chain of custody. And I would agree. Again, it's a small part of the book, but from my perspective as an FBI agent, if I had ever presented evidence without a chain of custody to an assistant United States attorney, to you, Donna, as a former prosecutor, it would have been a bit of an issue. Now, I've seen different defense attorneys talk about chain of custody. I would agree that it is something that Judge Hippler would have had to rule on in court. In my opinion, looking at a jury and explaining how a few human cells of DNA ended up on a knife sheath when the path of that knife sheath from the third floor bedroom to the FBI is quite a process. So those would be my three top issues.
I think those are all great. Let's start with number one, because what I guess my question when it comes to that issue in terms of diluted blood and, my question, I guess, is had that been presented, and you said this was like a grand jury presentation, you were much more fair than any prosecutor I've ever seen if this was a grand jury presentation, because the grand jury presentation is normally what we heard the prosecutor read at the plea. So you were much more fair than a grand jury
treatise, right?
Much more. Yes, exactly. Much more fair. But that being said, even if that evidence were to come out at trial, that this was diluted in some way, what do you think that would have told us or ultimately resulted in? Because I guess I was asking the same questions as I was reading the book, but then I always come back to, and maybe it's my defense attorney brain that steps in and says, okay, but you always have to think about the other end of that. And if what you're saying is that, what was going to come out about that? Was it somebody, walking up and down the stairs with glass of some kind of liquid in their hand and spilling it all over the place? Could it have been somebody running with the glass in their hand? Could it have been that, if it was that somebody tried to clean something up, I think that then it's sort of shifting this blame to the victim's roommates in this case in some way, shape, or form, which the judge, of course, said they weren't going to be allowed to do. So I guess my question is, if this were to go to trial, how do you think that was going to play out in front of the jury, and in what way? And I mean, maybe the answer is you don't know, given the fact that they didn't do any testing on these things, but that's where my mind takes me.
The victim's roommates, right.
Lead.
Again, I'm not an attorney, but I have testified in murder cases. One with a death penalty. I testified in a death penalty case, a guy named Oscar Ray Boland, who was actually executed. And I've said murder is not typically a federal crime. It's I've worked 2 murder cases as an FBI agent. Both were on government reservations, so I have some experience. But going to the defense argument, I don't know what Ann Taylor would have said, but this is what I saw in looking at it. Problems with timeline, because the timeline presented by Bill Thompson in the prosecution indicates that Brian Koberger entered the house, killed 2 people on the 3rd floor, made his way downstairs, killed 2 people on the 2nd floor, got back into his car, and left in approximately 4 minutes. Now, the timeline's changed, but what he presented at trial was going to come down to approximately 4 minutes. The question is this. If one person, Brian Koberger, and he pled guilty, but if one person, Brian Koberger, somehow altered the 2nd floor of that house, how did he do it in that amount of time, and why did he do it? Why was the 2nd floor, common areas of the 2nd floor, the beer pong table, the knee walls, the flat walls, why was that area so dramatically different in appearance, in laboratory analysis, in assessment by the prosecution's own experts? Why is that so different? How did it get to be so different? And why do we believe that could have happened in 4 minutes? And then we go, as you just asked, what are the plausible options? And maybe you want to talk about those plausible options, what they might have been.
Yeah, and I think I would like to actually. I mean, I know that there was evidence of one of the girls running down the stairs, that table being knocked over. At least that's the theory, right? That the table's knocked over because of the commotion that's corroborated by the other roommates. And I know that the roommates' testimony or statements that they had given to police they were definitely not challenged, right? Those statements were not challenged. They took the statements, they wrote them down, but I'm not so sure that in that moment, that's really law enforcement's job, right? Law enforcement is to record. Their job is to record what witnesses tell them, and maybe later try to follow up and say, okay, well, what about this? Or this person told us this. I mean, I think at the end of the day, there's no doubt about the fact that these people in the house that survived were drinking all night long. I think there's no doubt about the fact that it's very strange that you hear your roommates screaming and you hear a voice in your house and you see somebody show up with black clothing on and you get afraid. And it's very strange that you don't do anything about that in that moment. But I guess the question still remains, what end does challenging all of that lead to? And I'm just wondering if, in talking about it, it sort of is twofold. It's the prosecutor saying, okay, maybe we don't have the strongest case on earth, and that's why at the end of the day we offer this plea. And it's the defense saying we have to do anything we can do to try to spare him from being killed. And so everybody just sort of throws up their hands and says, this is the right thing to do. I mean, I don't know the answer, but these are the things that were going through my head as I was reading this book.
Well, thank you. And as an attorney, you know this very well. Statistically, just Google it. Statistically, the vast majority of prosecutions and plea agreement, right? It's easier for the state. It's easier on the victims. It's easier on the witnesses. The system, over time, has evolved to a point where plea agreements are a very, very important part of the process. I was a victim in a case one time, assault with a deadly weapon, that went to trial, and he changed his plea in the middle of the trial based on the evidence at the time. So changing pleas in the criminal defense of an accused person is not unusual. It's quite common. In this particular case, I don't take any stand. I say very, very clearly, Brian Koberger pled guilty as a grown man, well-educated, sound frame of mind to the horrific murders of 4 people and 1 count of burglary, right? So I don't dispute that. What I say is, I think, although I don't say it, but we're talking about it right now, I think the question that stands out in my mind is, how did he do it alone in that amount of time? And if that is a question that people want answers to, my next question as a former law enforcement official is it okay that we accept that one person pled guilty to these crimes with prima facie evidence, in my opinion, that somebody else may have been involved? Is it okay to say, okay, we got half of them? Is that fair to the families? Is it fair to the victims, the memory of the victims? So these are all questions that I bring up.
That I agree with. Yes. That is a very fair and reasonable question. And I think that's where the quality of the investigation comes into question, because you're saying, okay, you find all these things, sort of strange the way some of it's recorded. You have different officers at different times writing their reports. And, so I think that that's a very fair question, given the evidence that was collected, given the evidence that wasn't tested. And I think you're right. The question comes down to is if somebody else acted here, then definitely that's something that they should have looked at. And I think that was the problem that most people felt about the plea, was that the plea did not require Bryan Kohberger to make any specific admissions other than the death. He never had to say why he did this. He never had to give any additional information. If anybody else was involved, and if the prosecutors thought that anybody else was involved, you think that maybe they would have made him swear to facts. And, there's other things that they could have done to preserve that whole issue in case someone else ends up getting arrested down the road.
Listen, I agree 100%. Judge Hippler has a remarkable career as a jurist, right? I think I found evidence, maybe he had one overturned decision. He's a remarkable judge.
Amazing. When I read that in the book, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, right? Like, who wouldn't think Judge Hippler did a brilliant job? People have any opinion that they want, but I think looking at the information, in the same breath, you have to acknowledge that he ruled against Ann Taylor in every single motion. Motions in limine, the Franks hearing, the various things, right? So from Ann Taylor's perspective going into trial, she may have felt, rightly so, that she had tried everything she could conceivably try in terms of motions, and she was walking into that courtroom well behind the power curve. All right? Most people would accept that to be the case. So that brings up the next question. What did the prosecution want to get out of this? And the answer is they want to get closure for the families. They want to find justice. And by looking at all the information that we knew prior to this conversation, they had that. He presented the DNA on a knife sheath, he presented the cell tower analysis, and he presented the tying the white car to Bryan Kohberger. He read it in court. Bryan Kohberger listened to it. He changed his plea to guilty and said 4 times yes and 4 times guilty. There's no question about that. The next question is why? Right. And I'm not the only one. The people that came to me for this case, I didn't seek it out. People came to me, and some of them are law enforcement, and they said, look at this as a career professional. Do you see some issues with this crime scene? Do you see some issues with the evidence? Do you see some issues that create really super compelling questions? And my answer is yes. And that's why we're having this conversation.
You're right. And I think the crime scene issue, what struck me from Jump Street and reading the book and obviously being a part of the press coverage of this, that crime scene was absolutely contaminated from minute one.
Minute one.
There was, and is that going to happen? Yeah, minute one. Now, is that going to happen when you have multiple people living in the house and they're already there at the time this occurs? And can some of that possibly not be avoided? Sure. But the minute law enforcement is called, I mean, they shouldn't have let anyone in and out of that house while that house was being looked at by investigators and officers, while officers were walking through anything that they were recovering. I mean, I think all of those issues are definitely fodder for really amazing cross-examination.
Right.
Again, I think if I'm the defense attorney, I'm going all in on that. The question is it enough to compel a jury that what happened in there didn't happen? I mean, you have 4 dead bodies, you have a graphic crime scene that I'm trying hard not to get into just for the family's preservation. But, you have these horrible things, and I can't even imagine being the law enforcement officer walking into that scene and not thinking, oh my God, I better lock this down right now.
No, listen, what is different about this case from so many widely known cases, just starting with OJ, and you get Menendez brothers, and it's so many, even John Benet Ramsey, which remains a mystery to a certain extent. What's different about this case is we know what happened from the very first moment because it was on Officer Nunez's body camera. From the moment he got out of his car thinking this was a medical emergency to when he followed Hunter up the stairs into the house and followed back and forth. The first hour of this crime scene, which is critically important, as you've just pointed out, it's recorded on camera in pretty good definition. And you can go back and look at it and try and see how that fits the narrative. And as you said, you cannot go into a crime scene without trucking something in. You cannot leave a crime scene without tracking something else, maybe microscopic. But they teach you that day one in a forensic analysis course, a homicide investigative course at pretty much any law enforcement academy. So we can watch where they touched the railings, where they later found blood. You can look at what they may have brought in and out. The knife sheath the hunter left on the ping pong table, the beer pong table, that's an issue when it was put there, and you can watch this play out. So much of this information, many people know already, and it's more. Much of this information in this book has now come out. It's been made public, including...
Yeah, well, not the knife sheath. It was the knife. So, I think he misspoke there, right? Right.
Enforcement Academy. So we can watch where they touched the railings, where they later found blood. You can look at what they may have brought in and out. The knife sheath the hunter left on the ping pong table, the beer pong table, that's an issue when it was...
No, it was a knife. Just saying, he misspoke.
Put there and you ready.
I think he misspoke.
Released a huge tranche of extremely gruesome photographs by accident and then brought them back. So looking at how information leaks out of this thing, or source information or whatever, they've given out a tremendous amount of information themselves because there's so much and it's hard to keep track of. Why do I bring it up? I bring it up for this reason. You talked about the juries and the fact that Brian Koberger never allocated. He did not have to explain anything during his change of plea hearing. So prior to now, we couldn't talk about any of these issues because we didn't know they were issues. We didn't know any of these things were a problem. So I think you bring up another really great point, and that is how much do we know now, and how do we speculate a jury would have looked at these things? Juries have a lot of different opinions about any given thing. We never would have known because it never went to trial, and at least we have a discussion. In my opinion, we have a discussion now, and I think, in my opinion, that's important.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. And let me ask you this: do you think the fact that
that's not revolutionary?
The police thinking this was a medical emergency rather than a murder or a crime scene affected the way they went in there and their thought process, and that they had to do this pivot, and they just didn't seem to be ready to do what they needed to do given what they found there? Do you think that initial call being really inaccurate was part of the cause of that?
Very much so, and I think it's really important to point that out. Officer Nunez is a great career as a police officer, but he thought he was responding to a medical emergency, and I think before that he was an EMT, or he's certainly a medical first responder before he went to the police, and he had actually received an award for investigating or for responding to a very violent crime. But you can see very clearly the humanity that played out in his body camera. What he said when he walks down the hallway and he realizes it's not a medical emergency, he realizes it's a homicide. You can hear, he says several expletives. You can hear the change in his breathing. You can look at his behaviors where he walks back and forth. And then he talks to Officer Warner coming up the stairs. Warner comes down, in my opinion, consummate professional, very calm, put on nitrile gloves. He looks very measured. In a small town of 26,000 people that doesn't have many violent crimes like this, I thought it was extraordinary. He did a fabulous job. And it goes from there, right? Then they go back out, they come in, they clear the house. They didn't even know there were two other people in the house. So it plays out in a way that we can assess their behaviors. No question in my mind, on a Sunday morning, noon, on a Sunday, after a big, football weekend, there was no question in my mind that his behavior and his approach to that crime scene changed dramatically once he realized it wasn't a passed out person on the floor who ostensibly had too much to drink. All of a sudden, it's a gruesome homicide, and a quadruple homicide. That is shocking for anyone, even law enforcement.
Right. Yeah, I think it's really interesting, and I kind of thought that as I read through it, and I don't think I realized that when they first got the
I'm sorry, what was the point? What was the point he was trying to make there?
It may have been out there, but it definitely wasn't something we focused on talking about. But I think now,
sorry, I missed the point of what you said.
Issues, I think it's definitely plays a really large part. And why do you think that Koberger took a plea here? What do you think made him change his opinion?
I think only two people know the answer. And look, this isn't rocket science. We know Brian Koberger made up his mind. He's the one who made the decision. And we might expect that Ann Taylor, as his attorney, would would know as well. She's been talking to him for 3 years, and even if she didn't ask him specifically, and I know you as a defense attorney have much more to say than I do about this, but I've heard many defense attorneys say, I don't want to know, I want to defend my client, he has constitutional rights, and we want to protect those. That's the American system of justice. I honor that, I respect that, I agree with that. I do think during the course of looking at evidence over 3 years preparing for trial, I believe she probably had some sense. Now, I can't speak for Ann Taylor. I'm not saying that she did. But I will say this. Only one person knows, that's Brian Koberger, and he told Judge Hippler, I did it. He said it 4 times. So is that the innocent...
I think that's fair.
Does that always matter in these cases? I don't know. Look, John Grisham just did a really interesting book on these issues with an Innocence Project wrongful convictions slant. And I'm not doing that, but he did. And he pointed out that of roughly 200 convictions overturned by the Innocence Project, that I think it was 25% or something like that started with a guilty plea. So there are a lot of questions, but I don't ask those questions in the book. I never question whether or not Brian Koberger did it. I said, what's wrong with this scenario? And I'll leave it up to the reader to make up his or her mind.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked how you said
All right, guys. Well, there you go. Hope you like that. We should go now. Yep. Well, it's a Monday, so... Well, God. Well, tomorrow's going to be better. Right, it's going to be better, so... All right, loves. Remember, what's the theme of this one? Well, take a vacation if you got the time. Just take a vacation, my loves. That's all you have to do, really.